5. Oh, camera. Wait. 4, 3,
2, 1.
2, 1. I'm going to bring this light closer. There. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
God bless you. Welcome to, I was going to say welcome to House of Rest Church.
It is House of Rest.
I know, but I was going into what I usually say at the service. Welcome to our YouTube channel.
You know why? Because you missed saying it because you weren't really up there today. No. That's why.
You turn the air off?
Turn it down.
Right when we're going to do this. This is when I start sweating.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, every time I do this, I get real hot and the air was on.
And I turned it off.
Right when I'm going to film.
Because it gets cold every time I walk in here.
So if I start getting red-faced, you know why. I already feel the heat. So, anything else you want to do? You make it hot, you kick the kickstand. Are you mad at the tripod? I said the kickstand. All right. She's about to get grounded.
No, I'm not, you guys.
It is Sunday night for us, Monday morning for you guys. And of course, it was a long weekend. Of course.
It's Father's Day for us still. So I'm going to say happy Father's Day to all the papas, all the fathers out there, all the father figures. If you in any way have played a role as a father, spiritual father, just in any way, guys, we want to wish you a happy Father's Day. I know David is, a father figure to my boys, and so happy Father's Day, babe, to, when you are a father of 5 beautiful children, and then you're a stepdad to my 4 children, and who love you very much. So happy Father's Day to our baseball team. Because it takes 9, and we have 9 altogether. Isn't that crazy, guys? 9 kids altogether, blended family. But, it takes a father, and that's what he's been, a good father to all our children. And we're just really, really blessed by that. But happy Father's Day to you guys. And I know that's one day late for you guys, but for us, it's still Father's Day.
Yeah, we... A few months ago, we had planned our yearly bike ride in Monterey. Mm-hmm. Didn't realize 2 months ago that it was going to fall on Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
So that's fine because, Father's Day is on Sunday, but the bike ride was 2.5 hours away from here. So we went there Friday, stayed the night, met everybody for the Saturday ride. Ended up being an amazing day. Guys, you guys know there's a heat wave here in California. So it was triple digits here, but because Monterey's by the coast, it was like 30 degrees less. And that was perfect. And we had a huge group. This is the first time we had people go, a lot of people go that don't ride. Yeah. Usually when it started, this whole thing, the very first time it was just me and Bobo, remember? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the start. Me and my son, before I met Sharon, I went to speak, I think, in Watsonville. And it's kind of far, so they got me a hotel. And I always took my son everywhere I went. I didn't want to be by myself when I would speak at a church for accountability purpose. So I always took my son with me. And I knew it was close to Monterey. Mm-hmm. And I just bought him a fixie bike. So I said, why don't we go on a bike ride and hang out in Monterey? And he's like, yeah, he's a little kid still. So he loved it, So then I found this trail. So after that, it became a yearly thing. And but yesterday we made it a church event. So it was like half.
Well, it's been a church event for the last 4 years.
But as far as this is the first year we really pushed to really go, even if you don't
ride. Yeah. So we had a lot of non-riders. I didn't ride this year. I usually always ride.
I'm going to be showing some of the pictures as we're talking.
So I didn't ride this year, and a larger group of non-riders did show up this year. And they got so excited that they were like, hey, how about next year we do this and we do that? And they started suggesting stuff, and I love the idea because the idea of fellowship, and now that they're taking more more of the participation part of it, saying, well, we'd be willing to barbecue and set things up so that the writers can actually come to some, made food. That's and awesome. Stuff like that. I'm like, you know what, that's a great idea, because a lot of the times it's only been writers, we actually always have to find places to eat.
Because you can't carry nothing with you.
Yeah, because we can't carry grills and do any of that stuff or take ice chests and stuff. But this time, now that we have non-writers, they're like, man, we're willing to take stuff so we can set a place up. It's kind of a set-up place where they can go ride and then come back, and we have a place to come back to fellowship to. And I absolutely love the idea. I love it because yesterday, the moment that we all got together and we fellowshipped, it was just amazing. I mean, it was like 25 of us, and all of us just got together around the beach area, and we just sat there, we laughed, we talked, and guys, it was just beautiful. It was the youth, the young adults, and all the adults, and we just had a blast for a few hours, and then we took our big old group picture together. But if we could have more time like that, instead of having to find places to go eat and then lose that time and be able to spend it together there, I think it would be great.
Every time we go, the group gets bigger, right? And it's kind of like, if you've never been to Cannery Row in Monterey, it's like Pier 39, or I don't know if you've ever been, where it's very touristy. So it's a lot of restaurants, a lot of shops, a lot of people walking around. But when you have a group of 30, 35 people, you're not going to find a restaurant to accommodate you. It's impossible. So everybody has to break up into little groups. Yeah. And even then, we waited like an hour to sit down and eat. Yeah. And then another 45 minutes to actually get our meals. And that's a lot of wasted time. Well, I mean, the fellowship is good, but you know what I'm thinking? If we do that next year, let's say we do Lover's Point. I want to start the ride there.
Yeah, we might as well. And then go and then end up back there. And
knock out the 20 miles and end the day.
Yeah.
Instead of breaking the ride up.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
I think it's beautiful to be able to do that, and those that want to do the 10 can just go to that midpoint and come back. And I think that's a perfect thing to do. Yeah. So guys, that's something to look forward to. So, hey, if this is something that does interest you, we do this Monterey trip every year.
Every June.
Every year we do it. So get yourself ready, get yourself prepared, because we will be doing it. Come fall as well, we're hopefully, come fall, we were able to get started on our paintballing as well. This is something that a lot of the young boys love as well, because even I play paintball, guys. It's an opportunity for them to shoot the pastors, So we love to play paintball.
If they can hit me.
Yeah, they underestimate me. They don't even realize how good I am.
I'm like a paintball Rambo, basically.
Yeah, and I'm a paintball Rambo-rette. So go figure. But anyhow, that's another activity that we do as a church. We do this together. We have a lot of fun playing paintball, and it's something we do along the fall time. And then eventually, hopefully, I don't know if this year we'll be doing some trips or not. So there's a lot of things that hopefully we'll be doing as a church, guys. And we'll let you guys know as that time comes, But we have fun, guys. We have fun together as a family. We're not a big old church, so this is why we're able to do this, because we're a family. We're a church of 100 and something, and plus we have our online family as well. And I think this is why we're able to organize a lot of this stuff and do it. So it's exciting. It's very, very exciting. So what did we want to talk about today? Because I had mentioned a few things. Yeah,
well, I wanted to talk about something that happened to Moses, and then we'll make it relevant to us.
Okay.
How about there?
Okay.
So as you guys know, I think everybody in the world knows who Moses is for the most part. Moses was the prince of Egypt, as they call him, and he saw the burning bush and was not consumed. And God spoke to him through that fire and said, I need you to go and tell Pharaoh to set my people free. So anyways, Moses did what he did, all the people came, the Red Sea parted, and now they're in a huge encampment in the middle of the desert. And basically, you got to understand, when you're dealing with people, you're dealing with problems. Family problems, marital problems, domestic problems, neighbor arguing with neighbor, somebody took my sandal, somebody did this, somebody did that. So even though they were the people of God and the people chosen by God, there was still issues and arguments and problems. So because Moses was the leader, he had to basically be the judge. So every single day from morning to night, he had to hear people's grievances out all day long, and it was burning him out. And it got to the point where his father-in-law pulled Moses to the side. And this is where I want to talk about of what the wisdom that his father-in-law gave him, because Moses was tired. And anyways, if we want to read in the book of Exodus, and if you want to read the whole chapter on your own, it would be a good idea, but we're going to skim through the middle of it. And his father-in-law gives him advice. Exodus 18, verse, 13. Exodus 18:13. Yeah?
13 and 14.
That's fine. Might be even more. It says this. It says, and so it was on the next day that Moses sat to judge the people. Like I said, you just sit all day. And the people stood before Moses from morning until evening. So when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did for the people, he said, what is this thing that you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit? And all the people stand before you from morning until evening. I'm going to keep going. And Moses said to his father-in-law, because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a difficulty, they come to me, and I judge between one and the other, and I make known the statutes of God and his laws. So Moses' father-in-law said to him, the thing that you do is not good. Both you and these people who are with you will surely wear yourselves out. For this thing is too much for you. You are not able to perform it by yourself. Listen to my voice. I will give you counsel, and God will be with you. Stand before God for the people so that you may bring the difficulties to God. And you shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and show them the way in which they must walk and work they must do. Here's the verse right here. Verse 21. Moreover, you shall select from all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all times. Then it will be that not every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they themselves must bring. Then it will be that every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they themselves shall judge. So it will be easier for you, for they will bear the burden with you. And if you do this thing, and God so commands you, then you will be able to endure. And all these people will also go to their place in peace. So I read to 23.
Okay.
So 10 verses, guys.
The next day, David reads out of the New King James. I'll be reading out of the Message. The next day, Moses took his place to judge the people. People were standing before him all day long, from morning to night. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, what's going on here? Why are you doing all this, all by yourself, letting everybody line up before you from morning to night? Moses said to his father-in-law, because the people come to me with questions about God. When something comes up, they come to me. I judge between a man and his neighbor and teach them God's laws and instructions. Moses' father-in-law said, this is no way to go about it. You'll burn out, and the people right along with you. This is way too much for you. You can't do this alone. Now listen to me. Let me tell you how to do this so that God will be in this with you. Be there for the people before God, but let the matters of concern be presented to God. Your job is to teach them the rules and instructions, to show them how to live, what to do. And then you need to keep a sharp eye for the competent men who fear God, men of integrity, men who are incorruptible, and appoint them as leaders over groups organized by the 1,000, by the 100, by 50, and by 10. They'll be responsible for the everyday work of judging among the people. They'll bring the hard cases to you, but in the routine cases, they'll be judges. They'll be the judges. They will share your load, and that will make it easier for you. If you handle the work this way, you'll have the strength to carry out whatever God commands you, and the people in their settings will flourish also.
Amen. Funny, because it almost sounds like even the way our judicial system is built in the United States.
Yeah.
That's why you go to court, and then you go to a higher circuit, and it goes so far and so forth all the way to the Supreme Court. That way the major problems get there. So we can say that that was established way before the United States.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and Moses was burning himself out, man.
I think a lot of if we really truly look at the Old Testament, we'll see a lot of the things in life, a lot of the things like even in real estate and in our government judicial system, a lot of the things you can see a lot of that in the Old Testament if you really, really look closely.
For sure.
But I think a lot of it came about when I was sharing something with you earlier today. You know, as we called up all the men to pray for them, I began to pray for them, but I almost became lost for words. It's almost like I called this, Pastor Lydia up, and then I was there, and I almost felt a little weary, like a little tired.
It's been a long weekend.
And I was stumbling in my words, and I was like, oh my God, Lord, I can't even find the words like to pray right now. And I felt a little weary and tired, and I couldn't even find the words. And I looked at Pastor Lydia and I said, here, I gave her the microphone and I said, can you play, pretty much, can you pray? Because I just felt very weary and tired at that moment. And when we were all done, I remember in the car for a moment, I was just like, Lord, was it wrong for me to feel weary and tired? And the Lord just assured me, like, no, you're just tired, you're weary, and no, like he was still pleased with me, and he made me feel like it's okay to feel weary and tired, and sometimes the enemy will try to make you feel like being tired is not okay and all of that. And I was just like, Lord, thank you, for that confirmation, because I didn't want to feel that. And then I came and I talked to you and I said, how I was feeling. And I guess that's when you came with this and you began to share with me.
Yeah, I brought it to remind you that even Moses was tired.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. That's why there's a scripture in the Bible that says that he knows that we're weak vessels, we're human, and he remembers that, and he gets that. That's why we should always push ourselves to go further and further. There was this the trail we did yesterday. It pertains to this. I remember after I had surgery and you had surgery, within a few months, it wasn't enough to recover. But we were so excited to do this ride because we do it every year, And we had my brother came, his kids. A lot of people came to this event, guys. And they were all waiting for us at the end so we could all be together. I don't know what happened, but we took like 2 hours, right? Is that correct? Am I thinking?
For that first time when we went?
When Ruben no, I don't know if was that the first time you went?
Yeah, that was the first Monterey ride. Yeah.
And it was so hard. And I didn't enjoy myself. I was exhausted, physically exhausted, mentally. It was so hard to do that ride. I guess I hadn't fully recovered from surgery. We weren't that we weren't riding as much back then either. I mean, there's a lot of different things.
I mean, I had that surgery, and then I had the brain surgery too. So yeah.
So we were in bad shape. I was really hard on myself, guys, and both of us, I think. I think I was probably harder than you on myself, and I don't know how you felt. But a few months later, when we recovered better, we actually went out, me and her, and we're like, we're gonna defeat this thing.
Yeah.
Because we felt defeated, and we did. We did it.
I remember I cried.
Yeah, it was hard.
I even cried when I finally went up that hill. I cried going up that hill because I felt like accomplished, guys, because it had been a tough few months for us,
It's not a flat ride. It's like this, and then your speed, and then it's up. And I'm not talking about a little tiny hill, like a little overpass. I'm talking, it's not easy, right? So anyways, yesterday, the point was where we park the car, from there to Lover's Point is 10 miles. Then we hang out all day, and then we're supposed to go back exactly to the cars to another 10 miles. They hit a 20. But the very last hill on the way back is extremely hard under the bridge.
Yeah.
And so I was at a point where my calves started cramping as I was riding, and there was no way for you to get there. I knew, I'm like, because it's kind of in the sand dunes, and there's a concrete street, 4 bikes. There's no way for a car to get back there. It's impossible. And I feel my calves cramping, and I'm just like, no. And I knew there was another huge hill coming up, and I told Brother Jesus, I'm like, we need a rest. He's all right. He goes, what's going on? I said, my calves are cramping, both of them. So I get off and I stretch a little bit. We had some of the youth with us. And
well, I had seen the first group already come in, and
you're like, where's David?
And I didn't see the second group, and I was concerned because I know that the youth were following you, and I didn't see for a while, and I'm like, that's a lot, because I know how to time things because I've already been on those trails. So when I didn't see for a while, I decided to go down to where
the last hill.
Right before the last hill, where I can actually park the car. And I said, well, let's go over there, guys. Let's go cheer them on as we're able to see them.
Because you were probably going to cheer us on to make that last one.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's cheer them on, guys. Let's go cheer them on, because I know that last little hill, before they go on that last little hill, they're going to need that cheering to make it. And so I'm waiting, and I said, something's not right. Something's wrong. And they just took too long. So I saw the first group come up, and we cheered them on so they can get that last little hill. And then nothing. And I finally called him, and I said, David, are you okay?
That's when I was stopped.
And he says, I had to stop. He's all...
my calves are cramping.
Yeah. He says, my calves are cramping, and he goes, I need to make this last hill, Sharon, and he's all like...
because you said, want me to get you? I said, you can't.
He goes, there's no way for you to come up here. He goes, I have the kids over here too. And I didn't realize that one of the young kids as well, she was cramping, right? She was, one of the young girls as well was cramping her legs. And this was their first time cycling too, guys. So this was totally...
So here's a little cycling tip for those of you that don't know this. I learned this. I've been cycling for a lot of years now. Little mustard packs. The ones you see at AMPM or Circle K, whatever. I don't know why. I've looked at studies. They don't know why. But somehow cyclists take those in case your legs cramp. And you got to literally crack it, go the whole thing. I mean, you got to let that mustard hit and shock your senses. And that's what I did. My calves are cramping. I still got it's one of the biggest hills of all. And I could see it. And I said, hey kids, see that hill? They're like, yeah. That's what we got to get through. We got to get past that to get down to where everybody's at. Boom, did that mustard pack, and the cramping stopped, and we took off. And as I was going up that hill, it was so hard, right? It was so hard, and I refuse to put my feet down and stop pedaling. I refuse, right? Ever since that time it defeated us. So anyways, I make that hill. Here's the point, is I go down, and they're all cheering. They thought that we were just going to keep going to do that last one where the cars were at. And anyways, I said, no, I'm done. Here's why. It's because I told Jesus, Brother Jesus, no, I wasn't praying to Jesus, I mean, Brother Jesus, I said, I'm done right here. I said, and I feel accomplished. I feel accomplished, you know. And I say that, all that story to say this, is we can't push ourselves sometimes to burn ourselves out just to prove something to God, or to prove something to people in our church, or to prove there's nothing wrong in saying, I'm tired now. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like you were saying, with you said you were going to pray for the men for Father's Day, and you felt like you're so weary, and you passed it to Sister Lydia.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me saying, this last hill, you know what? I don't have to do it. I don't have nothing to prove nobody. I just passed a whole bunch of hills after COVID, after a time when I couldn't even breathe. I remember going for a bike ride and I couldn't even go a few blocks. I'm like, man, I feel accomplished, you know? And there's a time to know when to quit, you know, or when to rest. Let's not say the word quit, because it ain't my last ride.
That's right.
You know, and it's not your last prayer.
It's not.
You know, so let's forget that. Take the word quit out. Sometimes we just got to rest, you know. So, you know, it has been very busy. As you guys know, we lost a lot of traction when Sharon went to the hospital for 9 days and then gets COVID in there, and then we all get sick. And that was another 2 weeks of craziness. So 3 weeks of craziness for you, because you had the hospital stay almost a month. Mm-hmm. And then the recovery of that. And as soon as we recovered, we had to play catch up with the church and everything that was going on in ministry and all these things. And I mean, we had your son's wedding, and what else did we have?
We just had a lot of stuff.
What else was it? What else did we? The week before that, something, and then Christopher's wedding, and I don't even remember. My mind's blank right now.
Mother's Day, wedding. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't remember any. Oh, Phoenix.
Oh yeah. We went to Phoenix because that was planned, and then Christopher's wedding.
Mother's Day.
Then Mother's Day, and then
and all this. Now.
Yeah, and then we
Father's
had
Day.
The Monterey ride and Father's Day, and then
now we're gonna go to the Southern California for the fight.
Yeah, now this weekend we have this fight to go to with Cholo Trucker and Gunner, and we have a guest speaker coming from Grace International. He's from India and he oversees 500 churches and orphanages, and he's just going to share his heart, you know. And I'm just like, there's nothing planned after that, and I want to leave it that way. Like, we need it. We need to, you know. Not, don't get me wrong, I might plan something with my wife, but as far as events, like done for a little bit, because there's a time to say, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to get through this last hill. You know, we just need to stop, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things within the church. We have to stay, we have to focus right now on our children's ministries. Mm-hmm. You know, we have to focus on our youth ministries. You know, there's things within the church.
Yeah, there's people asking me about the Bible school.
Here locally, there's a lot of things. It's still a lot of work, guys. Our prison ministry. There's a lot of things within here locally. Infrastructure, yeah, that we have to.
It needs our attention.
Yeah, that we have to work on. And those are things that we want to stay focused on. So I think we're planning ahead. And it's going to take a lot of brainstorming, and it's going to take a lot of sitting down with a lot of different people. And, you know, we're hoping that people are going to step out and step up and want to lock arms with us so that we can do this together, because it's going to take more than just us. Yeah. It's going to take a lot of you. I'm going to say a lot of you, because you guys are family too. It's going to take everybody to come together, because we can't do this alone, guys. We really can't do this alone. We need our church family. We need everybody to come together, the kingdom family to come together and do this with us. We need you guys. You know, you guys are the ones that help us, you know, stay encouraged. You guys are the ones that help us stay focused, and we need y'all. We really do. So we're hoping that as we start to wind down from being out and going places and doing other things. And now as we stay, focused within the infrastructure of house arrest, that you guys do get involved and that you guys do come to us and start asking us, hey, what can I do? Where can I help? Is there anything that I can do from where I'm at? That'll be really nice. So, this is what brought the subject on today. It's because, it's something that I was talking to my husband at, today in the car. And I said, this is the way I was feeling. Is there something scripturally that we can talk about? Because a lot of the times I think we get burnt out and we allow ourselves to get burnt out. But sometimes we allow the enemy to come in and make us feel bad about what we do. So what we do is we then in turn start to do more because we think that it's a bad thing. And the thing is, it's not a bad thing, guys. It's not a bad thing to take rest,
Oh, yeah.
It's really not. We need the rest. And it's a good thing.
House of rest.
Yes.
Yeah, but, I think that it'll be, all these things that were going on and use July just to help the infrastructure, because that has to be strong, guys. If you build a beautiful house with a weak infrastructure, what happens? It'll fall. The first storm that comes, and so July, we're not planning no picnics, no this, no that, whatever. It's just a lot of just internal stuff and continue the daily devotionals. I have some books I got to finish. I have an Audible I got to finish. There's work that we got to do. And we love to think of events and doing this and doing that. We love that stuff. But I think there's nothing wrong with hitting pause,
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with you hitting pause in your life. If you're always busy, you're always doing this, doing that, just slow down. Spend some time with your family. Spend time with your kids or your spouse or your mom, your dad, or whoever is a loved one to you, like I said, just because if I say, there's no events at the church for July, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have plans with Sharon to go do something. That alleviates. There's sometimes I just want to take her to the coast or take her up to the mountains, and we need that stuff,
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to sit there and not call one of your sisters and be like, hey sis, you want to go out and go have some coffee? Because that is going to happen. Because
actually, by not having an event, it alleviates and allows those times to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we still need those fellowships. We still need those moments for us to be able to build with each other. That's one thing. Like lately, I've been able to call some sisters and be like, hey, let's go have coffee. Let's go have breakfast. Because there's moments where we have to come together and we need to build those relationships and build. And how do we do that? We do that amongst fellowship. And I think that's so important. And that's something that you guys should be doing as well. Reach out to one another. Call somebody, text somebody, pick up the phone and just say, hey, do you guys want to call another couple, call another married couple? If you guys are married, call another couple and be like, hey, would you guys like to have dinner, and get to know another couple. If there's a couple that has children and you have children, go to a park or do something and make some time available so that you guys can get to know each other, because it's so important to build those relationships. You guys got to strengthen one another, what do they say? Iron sharpens iron, and sharpen one another and build those relationships so you guys can get to know one another and have that fellowship.
Well, what's really cool is that, first of all, hearing the men that spoke today blew me away.
Yes.
They did so good. I've been talking about raising up leaders, raising up generals, and I've been saying that, but today it gave me a chance to actually, I can see it now. I can see it now. And then after church, I was talking, and one of the couples at their church, they wanted to host a little event, and I'm like, that's the weekend we're going to be gone, and she's like, no, we'll take care of it. And I'm like, because every time there's an event, it's me and Sharon, or mostly Sharon doing everything. And then another brother comes, he goes, oh, I'll help you. You want me to get, some food items? Want me to get the drinks?
Sodas.
And then they start talking. I'm like, okay. okay, because we're gonna be down at the fight, you know. So I'm like, this is awesome. I'm seeing it happen before my eyes without us even being involved, much less even be in town.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna open up, we'll clean up, we'll do everything, whatever has to be done.
So one of them's gonna bring this, the other one's gonna bring that, and they're gonna be watching. You know, they're gonna be hosting it, they're gonna be doing it, and we're like, you know what? That is the beautiful thing that we have a facility, we have a church facility, you know, and that's the thing, that the church facility gets to be used, and we have people that are stepping out and that, you know, they're making themselves available, they're making themselves responsible and accountable, and that they're utilizing it, because this is what our church home is. It doesn't belong to David and I. What do we say all the time? That Jesus is a senior pastor of this church. It's his home.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it belongs to all of us.
Yep.
We're all his children. You know, it's like we all pitch in together to make this place available so that we can all utilize it. And I think that's the beautiful thing, that they're like, you know what? We all pitch in to clean it up. We all pitch in. Well, we have one sister that actually really comes in at once a week and really takes care of the place. But we all pitch in to take care of our home and to keep it organized. And if we see something out of place, then somebody puts it back into place.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. We take care of our home together, and it belongs to everybody. So if somebody wants to do something, then let's do it. I love it. I love that. I love when I see on the camera when there's people there and we don't have to be there, and they're hosting a little Bible study or something. You know how wonderful that feels? I don't know. It just feels awesome.
You know, also real quick, I was blessed because Brother Johnny, the Muppet Alcala, he was able to preach today at the church he's attending.
Nice.
I haven't watched it yet. It's on the channel. Actually, I put it up on our channel.
Okay.
So hopefully you had a chance to watch that. If you didn't, please watch it. I think it's like only 20 minutes, I think. But check it out. I haven't watched it yet, but I already know. I know the brother gets down. I already know he loves the Lord, and because he was asking me, you know, did you watch it before you posted it? And I'm like, no, I know it's awesome. You know, and it's like,
you know why we know it's awesome? Because you're awesome, brother.
Yeah.
You know
so
why?
I'm like, I don't got to worry about.
Jesus is awesome.
I don't have to screen your stuff. I don't have to worry about it. I just put it up on the channel, you know. So I'm really excited about that. That's a church he's been attending. He's getting real close to that pastor, and him and his wife, and that's awesome, you know, because for a long time, he was always working on Sundays, and the detachment of no fellowship, and everybody he fellowshiped with in prison was far away. You know, Edwin was in Bakersfield, Lorenzo was in Fresno, and I was up here.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad to see him going somewhere and being accountable.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an awesome thing. So that pastor allowed him to share the word today.
That's beautiful. So another thing that I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm going to, you know, I've been praying on this for a very, very long time, and I know that we have a lot of new viewers and everything. And if you're local and you play an instrument, and the Lord, and I don't know why, but the Lord really put this in my heart today, you know, if you're local and you play an instrument, and the Lord has really been placing it in your heart to play worship, you know, please, you know, reach out to us, because I know that sometimes there's people that do have a heart of worship, and they don't know where to start, or they really do want to play worship, and the Lord's been placing that in your heart. You know, we have a keyboard, we have a
drum set,
we have guitars, we have
yeah, I think the only
stuff.
thing we don't have, I think, is a bass.
I even have what is that called right there? The
Cajon.
We have a cajon.
Why'd you say it?
A cajon?
A cajon.
A cajon. One of these things that you drum. I even have a ukulele, you know, believe it or not. A little Hawaiian ukulele.
We're not gonna have ukulele in worship.
I don't know. There's people that actually play
Guys,
the
we have
ukulele.
a keyboard, we have drums, and we have guitars. and that's enough.
Electric guitar too.
Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that's really missing is a bass guitar.
And the other thing that's missing is somebody to play them. But guys, if it's something that's in your heart and the Lord's placed it in your heart, just reach out to us, because we have not had anybody playing in going on 6-7 years.
I have not had musicians.
Since Josh.
Oh, that was just a little bit, like 2 months.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much out of 10 years, I had musicians for 2 months. Out of 10 years.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, this thing's getting really long and the rendering is long. So God bless you. Hopefully you got something out of this. Don't burn yourself out. And if you do, don't
be hard on yourself.
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't
be hard on yourself.
It's better to rest a day and be able to endure the long run than trying to burn out on a sprint. Life is not a sprint. Life is a marathon.
Yeah, and don't let the enemy lie to you and tell you that here's the thing. It's okay not to be. What was it that I said earlier?
I don't know.
It's okay not to be okay. Is that the way I said it earlier?
I don't remember.
Oh, man.
You're asking the guy that forgets everything.
I know. He does forget everything, guys. But you know what? Don't let the enemy lie to you. That's it. Okay?
All right, guys.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Bye.